Hello, this is Janet here from her kitchen in Worcestershire, and today I'm doing a slightly different thing. I'm not cooking, but I am planning for things that I'm going to cook, and I want to tell you about the 5 things that I have learned from all my years of going to slimming clubs. My weight started ballooning when I was approaching 40, which I think is what a lot of women find, and no matter how hard I tried, no matter how hard I stuck to the rules, I would lose weight and then immediately put it back on again, and each step I got heavier and heavier, and I could never really get a grip on this weight loss business, even though I was trying my hardest. And the 5 things that I have learnt from slimming clubs have really helped me now as I'm approaching my 80th year. The first thing that I learnt when I went to slimming clubs was to plan for the meals I was going to have in the following week. Now this week I'm going to be planning for a chicken tray bake, which needs chicken thighs, sticky chicken, chicken breasts, pork steaks with a mushroom sauce, spag bol, which I've got stored in the freezer from a previous batch that I made. That's a nice quiet night. Salmon, and I need to get some of that, and poached eggs on a smoked basa base. And for lunches I've set out similar things. Because we're retired, my husband and I eat at home pretty well every day, both meals. Occasionally we get invited out or we go out for a meal, but mostly it's home cooked. So that's my first tip to you, is to decide what you're going to have in the week. You might not stick to that. Sometimes things crop up, but at least you know that you've got those things either in your fridge, in your freezer, or in a can in the cupboard. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to check your supplies. Make sure that you are not running out of some important ingredients that you need for those meals you're planning. And also to write a list as you go. Now the list is really important. When you go around your grocery store, you want to have something that you're referring to that stops you from buying things that you've actually not any idea how you're going to use it this week. You don't need those things, so be focused. Now this is what I do, store cupboard. I'm afraid I can't keep up with our American cousins who have storerooms about the size of a bungalow. I've just got a few small cupboards in my kitchen and one sort of larderish cupboard that houses all sorts of other things as well. So what I've got in my cupboards is what I've got, and I check. I'm going to let you have a look at what I've got in the cupboard. Okay, at the top of this cupboard, this is my dry store. I've got a chicken korma, I've got a few things there, nothing very serious. I keep sauces and that sort of thing. Next shelf is much more important. I've got various beans, chopped tomatoes and kidney beans, and I like to keep a supply of these. So even sometimes when I'm having a cheap week, I might buy some extra cartons to make sure I've always got a stock. And around Christmas time, I'm very pleased I have, because it means I can have a cheap week when I've got Christmas things to buy. Now, red lentils, my latest love. I'm a bit low on tuna and a bit low on sardines, so I'm clocking that's what I need to buy this week. I also know that I've run out of penne, so I shall buy some of that as well. That'll be on the list. Now over to this cupboard up here, all sorts of odds and sods at the top. Various dry bouillons and stock cubes, And then herbs and spices. I've had to put some lasagna and some noodles in there, not enough room in my other cupboard. This cupboard I don't use overly. I don't use a lot of flour these days, but I do use this box. This box has got nuts and seeds for our breakfast every day, and we have those items almost every week on our list. And then I've got some cake making items, but I don't use that nearly so much as I used to. Now, this is a cupboard I don't go into very often. It's the naughty cupboard with things that are sugary. And as time goes on, I use this less and less. When my children were at home, there were 5 of us, I used to buy a pack of sugar, if not every week, every fortnight. And now 2 bags will probably last me the year. That's how significant our reduction in sugar has been. I check for coffees. I've got decaf and also full fat, a fairly low calorie hot chocolate, and decaf tea, which I think we're fine. We don't need any more of that this week. In the fridge, now remember there are only 2 of us here, so I have Greek yogurt and blueberries at the top, usually an extra pack of eggs, and that's cheese. I just buy a block of cheddar, a bit of butter and spread, a little bit of ham and shrimps, and then going down a couple of cartons of apple juice that sometimes my grandchildren have, spag bowl that's for tea tonight, and some green beans. And then some odd bits and pieces. Down at the bottom of the fridge I have my salad drawer with all the usual things, and below it mainly onions, potatoes. I've got some leeks, courgettes and a sweet potato in there. Not so well organised is my freezer, but I do have a list of things that I've got in here and try to rotate them. Homemade soups, meat, fish. So I check what I've got before I shop. I have 2 other small freezers, one that I keep bread type products in, not that we use it too much, a few rolls, and also one that I keep frozen veg in and occasional bits and pieces that I have left over. The third lesson was to never go shopping on an empty stomach. You will impulse buy, you will pick up all sorts of high carb temptations on the way. So make sure that you've eaten before you shop. Really good message there. The 4th lesson, and one that hasn't been so difficult for me, is to cook from scratch. So over the years we haven't had a lot of ultra processed foods, sometimes, but not as a regular thing. And so it's meant that we have kept away from a lot of those products that are really doing the damage to people's health. The 5th and final lesson is that counting calories doesn't work. Counting calories is a short-term fix, but it doesn't address the long-term issues of weight gain and why we do gain weight. So although it's a negative, in a way it's been a positive for me, in that it's taught me to reflect on and to read about what is going on in the world of nutrition and diets and what works best. And it seems to me now, and we have to go through a lot of information, too much information really, but the answer seems to be high protein, high fibre, low carb meals. And that is what my husband and I have now. and gradually, little by little, we are losing weight, but not in huge proportions. I've learnt that counting calories is a way of losing weight, but it is painful. It's really hard work. It's time consuming. And once you've reached a goal weight and you abandon what you were doing, the weight just goes on again. So for me, the answer has come more recently in the research that's been done across the world on the causes of weight gain. And the things that I am doing and my husband are doing is high fibre foods, high protein and low carbohydrates, keeping off the sugars, keeping off bread a lot more than we did. Not entirely, we haven't cut them out, but we have reduced significantly, and it seems to be working. We lose weight steadily, little by little, each year a bit lighter than before, but nothing dramatic. And when I go shopping, I bear all these things in mind. So I plan my meals, I check in my cupboards and my fridges and freezers, I write a shopping list. I do not go when I'm hungry to the shops, and I have ditched the calorie counting for high fibre, high protein, low carb meals. And for me, that's working. In my next video, I'm going to show you what my week shop looks like and the amount that I usually spend, which is about £70 to £80 for the two of us. So I'll see you then, I hope. Bye for now. If you found this video helpful, then please give me a like, send me a comment and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.